Hello, my name is Jake Thalen. I'm going to be doing my travel presentation. I'm going to Ireland. I personally know some people that have been to Ireland, heard some really good testimonials, and just kind of seeing pictures and hearing about it, and it's really intrigued me, and so that's why I chose that. So I'm going to kind of go over a couple of the different scenery, some of the different stops I plan on making, go through a little itinerary, show a budget, and that'll conclude it. So to get going here with the first parts of the presentation here, the plan. The travel is to take a round trip flight from Detroit straight to Dublin. March 1st, return on the 7th. 7-day stay. Use a rental car when you get to the airport and use that for the duration of the trip. Some of the sites, obviously there's going to be more than just these couple sites, but these are a couple of the major ones. St. Patrick's, Christchurch Cathedral, one of the most famous cathedrals and religious sites, not just in Christianity, but in the world, obviously. And when people think of Ireland and Dublin, they think of a couple different things. It's kind of known as a alcohol hotbed, and also for the ancient architectural buildings. Some of these castles have been up for 1,000 years or so. So I think that'd be great to tour some of the stuff like that. So there's a couple examples there. And like I said, you can't talk about Ireland without talking about alcohol. So the Guinness Storehouse is obviously a very good attraction as well. One of the most well-known brands there is kind of where that's all originated. Get the opportunity to go through and sample some different kinds of beer, stuff like that. The Epic Emigration Museum is centered around kind of the how Ireland came to be, some different stuff like that, and then the Dublin Coastal Craft Beer, similar to the Guinness Storehouse, a little less prestigious, but the same gist. Playing like the pros, I'm a golf person myself, so I could not go to a beautiful place like Ireland and not want to golf. Um, these courses are not just some of the best in Ireland or Europe, but the best in the world. They've played host to numerous PGA tournaments throughout the course of the years. So I think that'd be great to play those while over there as well. I found some. Ooh, I found some local. Sorry about that. I found some local places. These are some of the local bars, restaurants, stuff like that I plan on stopping in. Different pub style places. Some souvenirs to check out. Irish whiskey, like I said, you can't talk about Ireland without talking about alcohol and the sites, obviously. So Irish whiskey, Irish cheese, I've heard some great things about. So I think that'd be something awesome to snag before making your way back. And just some generic apparel. Obviously some ways to commemorate your trip to Ireland. Day one, obviously you're gonna arrive in Dublin, pick up the rental car and get all settled in. Go to the Lovin Spoon pub for lunch, visit the the St. Patrick's Cathedral, and then get dinner at a pub for lunch. Next day, wake up, get some breakfast again, go on another little museum tour, check out another place for lunch, play your first round of 18 over at the Island Golf Club, and then another local place for dinner. Continental breakfast. At some point you got to utilize the free breakfast of the hotel. Visit the Dublin castles. Those tend to be free. The admission might not be too bad, but in a lot of cases, a lot of those are just for public viewing. Dark Kelly's for lunch. I really liked the look of that place. It was a very nice pub style. I like the menu, look of it, and everything. So I thought that'd be a great place. Souvenir shopping. Make sure, like I said, get some of those different memorabilia pieces, the authentic Irish things, and then back to another Parnell Heritage pub for dinner to wrap that up. Get some breakfast the next day, play your second round of 18. A couple days later, give yourself a little bit of break from golf and some overly strenuous physical activity. Back to Dark Kelly's for lunch. I felt like some of these places were good enough that it warranted going back a second time. And then the Dublin Coastal Craft Beer touring and dinner. Have dinner there. Get an opportunity to try some of the craft beers. Day 5 and 6, Moore's Market is kind of like a public, market, obviously, with a little bit of a different taste than your typical farmer's market, but that's kind of a staple of Dublin, as well as walking through the streets and going through their farmer's market style. Hit lunch again, go back, do some more craft beer tasting over at Dublin Coastal. Georgia Street Arcade, similar to the market. It's a walkthrough place. You get to do a bunch of different games and activities there. It's a very common, very popular place to walk the streets in Dublin. And then to O'Neill's Bar and Restaurant for dinner. Breakfast the next day at the hotel. Um, Head over to the Museum of Ireland Archaeology. Check out some of the old ancient ruins. Some of the stuff that's obviously not up for public view. Little Museum of Ireland. Kind of a nice another little piece of Irish history. Get some lunch and then go back to the Guinness Storehouse beer sampling. This is the much more prestigious, world-renowned one of the two different craft beer sampling places, and then back to O'Neill's for dinner again. Day 7 is when you're going to kind of wrap up, get your last souvenirs. Stop for lunch again. And the Thelen distillery is similar to that of the coastal pub and the Guinness Storehouse. An opportunity to go through a distillery, kind of see how things work, and an opportunity to sample some more beverages. Total expenses. This is for a 2-person trip. That includes the flight round trip, the lodging for a week, all of the various things, if they need for the attraction, whether it's they need some sort of tickets to get in, some sort of price of admission, and then the meals throughout the week, and then any potential souvenirs. Like I said, that is captured for a 2-week stay for that one. And then here's where I got all of my information from. And I kind of hope you enjoyed my little spiel here, and hopefully you get an opportunity to visit a beautiful place like Ireland someday. Thank you.